Peace, health, and longevity. If you want to consume more plant-based foods, if you want to abstain from junk foods, if you want to consume fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and herbs, and avoid dead flesh, artificial flavors and colorings, sweeteners, anything that is unreal basically, purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El-Aton, who has been a vegan 40 plus years. He will take you step by step on how to abstain from the junk foods, how to abstain from the dead flesh, the chicken, the turkey, the pork, beef, and all sorts of animal products. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan, to eat more natural. Remember that the herbs are for the healing of the nations. Let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Consume of every fruit-bearing and herb-bearing tree. Unto you it shall be for meat. Purchase this particular manual, The Easiest Way to Become a Vegan by Pharaoh Ramesses El-Aton. Peace, health, and longevity.
All right, positive energy all the time. Yes, this is a very important conversation right here. This is very important. I hope everybody's taking care of themselves. More power. I hope you're doing better, bro. You know, you gotta, if you're in the hospital like that, you're having problems, it's time to take it more serious. You gotta take it serious. You know, you got to overcome if you got any type of bad addictions when it comes to food. You got to make up your mind what you want to do. You want to be here, you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to make some drastic changes if you've been going to the hospital, okay? So you got to step your game up. And that's for everybody watching, and including myself. I've been working out. You really have to fight to stay alive. Stop taking it for granted that you're just going to stay alive. It don't work like that. If you look in the animal kingdom, sometimes just watch animal presentations when they go in there showing you animals, and you'll see that every move the animals make is to stay alive. How they eat, how they move, how they avoid predators. We have to do the same thing. You have to avoid predators. Ladies, you have to move safely. You can't be out alone at night and just careless like that. You can't let people just walk up behind you. You have to watch your surroundings. You have to be alert in case of accidents. When you're driving, you have to be constantly paying attention in case you have to swerve a very bad accident. You can't be talking and for a second the car in front of you, tire blow out, you talking, bam, anything. So it's not just eating, it's just life, period. If you want to stay alive, you really have to act like you want to stay alive. Go look at a jaguar or even a lion. A lion just don't be walking around like everything's cool. Cheetahs and jaguars and tigers, you see how they walk when they're in the jungle? Lions don't be in the jungle. They be in the prairie. They be in the open. But stuff like cheetahs and tigers that be in the bush, look how they be walking. Look how they place their feet. They'll step on a poisonous snake or in a trap or something. They just not out there just walking around lollygagging. And so staying alive is a holistic mentality, 360. You have to try to stay alive. You have to work at it. When you look at men that go to jail and prison a lot, they work hard to go to jail and prison. They don't just go to jail, they work at it. You got to work at losing too. You have to work at losing. But you don't have to work at being in a bad accident or something. That you have to stay alert to give yourself the best chance. And every time you age, hey, play then. I could not be 67 now, going on 68 and just take that like zippity doo dah. If I don't take that serious, 68 might not come. Yeah, you 5 or 10 years old, you ain't thinking about that. But once you become to the age where you're no longer living with your parents, you 18, 19, 20, you're going to have to start thinking about staying alive. You can't just be like, oh, I'm young. Young people are getting knocked off, unalived constantly. Bad accidents, bad food, choking incidences, where you just in the house eating and you get choked, you're the only one in there. They got a thing that if you're home alone, you can put it to your mouth and save yourself from choking. Let me show it to you, right? Let me show you what I'm talking about. They got a way to save yourself from choking. Real talk, watch. All right, this right here. I'm not joking. See? This right here. This is called Save Lick. See this? This is for the children. This is for the adults. Right? If I'm here and I choke and nobody's here, I can put this in, and it'll pull whatever it is out. And when you push it in, the air comes out the side. It doesn't come back in here because that'll push it back down. So you just, see, I can feel it. And you just keep doing that. Boom, it's going to come out. You might be alone. You need to have this sitting where you know it's at. Or you might be there with a relative or a child. This could save somebody's life. This could stop you from choking. Because when you put it on there, it's going to pull. And then when you push, the air comes out the side. So it's going to pull from here. When you close it back in, the air is going to shoot out the side. So it won't push it back down. And you just keep. And boom, it's going to come out. This can make a difference between life and death. Have it where you can get to it. You can't be looking for it while you're choking, you know? One time I ate some skins. You know, skins is like pork rinds. One time I ate some pork rinds. And I was choking in my car. I had to run into a hoagie shop. It's like, give me a soda. It's like, okay. I said, no, now. But you gave it to me, I drank it. That's the only reason I was alive. I stayed alive because I couldn't get that out. That's a fact. On some pork rinds. That's before I was a vegan. You feel me? I mean, you're going to stay alive or you're not. You know, you're too old. You know? Y'all been eating bad. That stuff been already wearing your body down. You think it's a joke? You know, and you don't got no nutrition coming in. You don't have the certain exercise, certain nutrition, right? So imagine you're an older brother. You're not really eating right. You're not, not eating right. So now when you exercise, you're just making it worse because you're just pumping the poison through your body. You're aging and you're trying to exercise too much. When you're aging, you got to exercise lightly. My exercise plan, I've been going light. And I wait some years before I go heavy and heavy. I can't just go not exercise and put all that strain on my heart. And I haven't been exercising. You got to exercise lightly. If you're looking long term, why are you trying to overdo it? You got 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. You're trying to stay alive. So you're projecting, okay, I'm going to do a 4-year program. But yeah, you gotta project life. Now, tonight I came back. This is an emergency broadcast because I just finished. And we happened to mention the doctor. And never, ever tell a doctor that you are a vegan or that you're plant-based. Don't ever, never do that. Never. Never tell a doctor you're a vegan or you're plant-based. Keep your mouth shut. I went to the hospital with a female. She was having some type of problems with her stomach. She told them she was a vegan. Soon as she told me it was a vegan, the doctor's not going to do his job. He was like, oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's true. No. Because if they're a meat eater, they're not going to like the fact you're a vegan. And most likely, if they're a meat eater, they're not going to be too knowledgeable about plant based. So now you're giving the doctor a way out. You're not making the doctor do their job. You're giving them a reason to just pull up a diagnosis out the air. Never tell them you are a vegan. And never go to the doctor for them to fix you. Never. You go to the doctor to get a diagnosis first. And then if you can't do nothing with that diagnosis or it's something more serious, then you take their advice on what to do. But you never, ever tell a doctor or tell a nurse in the hospital that you are a vegan. Because if you do, you're not going to get good treatment. Not because they don't want to give you good treatment, but because if they don't know the knowledge of plant-based food and they don't know to the extent how good you eat, they're going to now stop thinking and they're going to try to put whatever's on you on that. You're giving them a way out. Make them do their job and find out what's wrong with you on their own. They're doctors. So let me give you an example. I go to the doctor. They check me out. They say, your blood pressure's a little high. Do you eat a lot of salt? If I do put a lot of sea salt on my food, I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to say sea salt. I'm going to say yes. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say I think so. I think I do be putting too much salt on my food. I'm not going to tell them what kind of salt. I'm not going to tell them what kind of food. But I need to tell him that I'm using a lot, or maybe I'm using a lot of salt. You can say that, but don't tell them sea salt. Leave that part out. He feels your blood pressure's a little high. Say, yeah, I think I do use too much salt. He gonna say, cut back. Go home and cut back on the sea salt. Cut back on the sodium. Start reading how much sodium is in your food. It might be plant-based, but it might got too much sodium in it. Cut back on your own. Do not give the doctor no information that's going to make them not do their job. They're not going to do their job to find out what's wrong with you if you give them some type of inclination that they can lean on. Also, no matter what, you got to fix it. So it ain't no need in trying to get the doctor to fix it. You got to fix it. If you do eat a lot of salt and you got high blood pressure, what are you going to do? He might try to give you some blood pressure medicine, but if you're going to still eat a bunch of salt, you just you a walking disaster. You the one still got to go back and cut back on the salt to bring your blood pressure down. The doctor ain't going to cut it back. Never tell a doctor you're a vegan or plant-based because for the most part, doctors don't do no nutrition when they go to school. They get very little nutritional study. They know nothing about nutrition at all. They know how to prescribe drugs. They know how to prescribe drugs. They know how to read charts, blood pressure charts and stuff like that. But they know very little about health. Very. Look it up. When you go to medical school, all them years, you don't take nothing but like 20, 30 hours, maybe a week's worth of nutrition. They don't take no nutrition courses. When you tell a doctor you're a vegan, it's going to be vegan versus meat eaters. That's all they know because they always like versus. They always want to prove that you got to eat the way they was raised. It took them how long to stop saying milk builds strong bones? They don't say that no more. They just say got milk. Why? Because they can't say it builds strong bones no more because they found out it doesn't. So they can't put that as false advertisement. They can't say that in commercials no more. That's why they don't say it no more because it doesn't. Some doctors say that milk causes osteoporosis in some women like that. Pulls calcium from the bones. This is what some people say. I'm not a professional, so this is not what I'm saying, but this is what Dr. Milton Mills says. He says it does. He says that especially Black Americans and Black people in general are lactose intolerant, except a small tribe in East Africa that's been raising cattle for thousands of years. But he says everybody else in Africa and Black people around the world are lactose intolerant. And so if you do get some type of diagnosis or whatever, come ask me over here. Go or get in the comments. Ask Dr. Bobby Price. Tell them what the doctor said is wrong with you and see what they tell you. But never tell the doctor you are a vegan because you're not going to get a good diagnosis. They're going to automatically say, oh, that could be it. That could be it. You got to stop looking at the doctor like the doctor is all of that. You're going to have to be the one to take care of your health. When I turned 62, it was 6-2s. Because I was 62 and it was 2020 and I was 62 and it came out to 6-2s. So I said, it's 6-2s, let me go to the doctor. So I hadn't been to the doctor in years except for when I had like an accident or something. But I never went to the doctor for no physical stuff since I was a kid with my mommy. I decided I'm 62. It's 6-2s associated with my name. I'm born February 22nd. It's February 22nd, 2020, and I'm 62, and that's 6-2s. I said, okay, it's 62s involved with today, and I'm 62. I'll go to a doctor. So I went to the doctor. A black nurse came out. She took my blood pressure. She said, your blood pressure's a little high. I said, that's because of you. I'm nervous. I don't do doctors. She said, yeah, it's something called white coat. You're probably right. She took all my blood work and everything. All my blood work was excellent. I went back like a week later, 10 days later, took my blood pressure. It was perfect. She said, yeah, you was right. You was just nervous. I said, I told you I don't got no high blood pressure. I don't eat food, but I never told her I'm a vegan. I never mentioned anything about how I eat. Let her do her job. I didn't tell her how I eat and then she do my blood work. I let her do my blood work like I was a regular person so she could do her job. Don't feed them no information that's going to stop them from doing their job. If you're plant-based and you're eating a lot of plant-based meats, and they say, well, do you eat a lot of meat? And you feel like you're eating a lot of plant-based meat, say, yeah. Don't say vegan meat. See? Don't tell them nothing. Let them do their job when you go to the doctor. So after the nurse did all that stuff, the doctor came in. This is the doctor. This is the people you go to help you with your health. And look at me. And look at the doctor. I had to take his picture. I cut his head off because I didn't want to show, I chopped his head off in the picture because I didn't want to show him. I just wanted to show everybody on Instagram at the time. This is the person that's going to help me with my health. got a whole truck tire around his stomach. How is he going? What can he do? This man is probably most likely on pharmaceuticals. He's short too. He ain't not healthy. This was my doctor. When he walked in, I was just like, what the heck? I was like, what the heck? What? I was like, what? This is the doctor? This is the doctor? Really? So it's like when you go to the doctor, keep your mouth closed. Give them information, but do not identify yourself as a vegan. Because now you're hurting your diagnosis because you feed information that's altering, and it's altering them and analyzing you. They're adding that into it. And let's say you're a vegan and you're not doing it right, and there is something because of it. All you're going to do is get the diagnosis. They're going to say, is this and this and this. Go home, Google it. Google it. Okay. Vegans low in niacin or vegans, whatever. Go and Google it and find out what you could do to rectify it, what you can eat to bring whatever vitamin is up, what you can do to lower your blood pressure or whatever the doctors say, what you can do to help your Crohn's disease, what you can eat if you got Crohn's, what you can do based on the diagnosis that the doctor gave you. But let the doctor give you the diagnosis on their own. Don't lie if they say, do you drink a lot of water? And you don't say no. If they say, do you eat a lot of fried foods? And you do, say yes. Because that helps with the diagnosis. But don't tell them any information that's not necessary. Don't tell them what kind of fried food, because fried food is fried food. And if you're eating too much fried food, tell him. He's going to tell you to cut back. But don't be like, yeah, I'm a vegan. I eat it. Don't say vegan. Don't say vegan, because identifying you a vegan is not going to help your diagnosis at all. Because at the end of the day, if it's something to have something to do with nutrition, you can change that on your own. Let them find out. All you want them to do is tell you, yeah, you low in vitamin B, or yeah, you low in vitamin D. That's all you need to know. You don't need to tell them you're a vegan to find out you low in vitamin D. Anybody could be low in vitamin D. If you tell him you're a vegan and you're low in vitamin D, he going to say it's because you're a vegan. But a whole bunch of meat eaters are low in vitamin D. People don't get enough vitamin D, especially if they're not in the sun a lot. So over winter months and stuff, your vitamin D might be low. So you got to take vitamin D anyway. You should be taking vitamin D anyway. You should be taking vitamin D anyway. I'm going to show you the vitamin D I'll be taking, but I'm not telling you to take it. I'm just showing you what I take, because YouTube got laws and got rules where we really not supposed to tell you to take nothing. But I probably could show you what I take, but I can't tell you to take it, because I'm not a doctor. But you should be taking vitamin D, right? Let me show you this vitamin D. All right. Uh, okay. The vitamin D I was taking was this vitamin D right here. This was the vitamin D I was taking by Sports Research. And as you can see, it's 5,000 IUs. Right? You're supposed to take one daily. Okay? I seen a black nurse. She said for sure we don't get enough vitamin D. And she said that wasn't enough vitamin D. And she said a lot of people got a vitamin D deficiency because they're not taking enough vitamin D. She advised that we take 50,000 IUs of vitamin D per week. So when I looked, I couldn't hardly find it, but I found this. This is what I take. I'm not telling you to take it. This is what I take. All right? This is by Nusa Pure. It's 50,000 IUs. I only take it every Monday because you can't take too much vitamin D either. So this one I take once a week, 50,000 IUs. This is what a black nurse advised. Okay? I'm not telling you to take it, but this is what a black nurse advised. So I bought it because I didn't want to have vitamin D deficiency. Right? Because I believed what she was saying. I'm not telling you what she's saying is right, but I believed it was right. Right? I believed it was right. So I take this once a week. It's 90 caps in 90. So that's a long time. Once a week, I don't have to worry about it. It's vegan, it's non GMO, 50,000 IUs of vitamin D, according to this nurse that I've seen. This black woman that was a nurse. She was a professional. She wasn't no baby either. She was a woman that had been a nurse for a while. And she was stating all the facts that people do have a vitamin D deficiency. Do I take BioSeal? Certain things I don't take all the time. I got a new one I got to get. So I'm changing. I'm getting a new one. I haven't ordered it yet because I got so much stuff I be taking. So I got to remember to order it though. But there is a better one that I'm going to be getting. That's good for your nails and hair and stuff like that. Since I increased my vitamins, though, my nails are growing super fast and super longer. I just cut these and look, I just cut them. So my nails are growing faster and they're harder and they usually break at a certain level, but now they're growing a little bit longer before they start breaking. Last time I almost looked like a werewolf man. I let them keep growing because I couldn't believe they kept growing and they wouldn't break. Usually they would grow, get so long, want to break, they all start breaking close to each other. But since I've been taking more vitamins, right? They haven't been breaking. I forgot. I gotta look it up. Um, oh, I'll know it when I see it. It's the one. It's not BioSeal. Hold on. It's the other one. I need to just go ahead and order it tomorrow. I'll find it. It's what's the name of that company? My friend was taking BioSeal, and then she was going to a beauty shop, and the beauty shop told her to take the one that they recommended, which was stronger. And the lady at the beauty shop said everybody hair start growing like crazy when they take that. Let me find it. I'll tell you in a minute. Google don't want to show it to me. Let me go to let me go to Amazon. Amazon got it. This is one the lady at the beauty shop. I really need to order it right now, actually. Look, it don't even come up over here quickly. Give me a second. I'm looking for it now. I should know the name of the company. I buy stuff from them all the time. I need to look up the name of the company so I could. Give me a minute. Let me look up the name of the company because I just got some. I just got some stuff from them. Hold on. Hold on. So I could just go right to the company. Hold on. I just go right to the company. I buy a lot of vitamins from them. Here we go. Let me make sure. Mm, I'm not sure if this is the one. Let me see. Let me make sure it's the one. They be having. I'm not sure which one is the one. Hold on. I don't want to show y'all the wrong thing. Yeah, I think this is the one. I think this is the one. Supports collagen because collagen only comes from animal sources. So this supports collagen. And this is what my friend was told to take. This is what my friend was told to take from her beautician. Says she takes it all the time. I really need to order it. I forgot. I will show it to you. Bear with me. We get the work done over here, though, to help y'all out. The system don't really like us. I'm going to show it to you right now. I'll probably order it tonight because I really do need to order it. I got so much nutrients and stuff that I be getting that is really crazy. I got you. There you go, right there. This is the one that the beautician told my friend was better than BioSeal. This was the one that my friend was advised to take this one. So I'm going to switch to this one because she said that the lady definitely stand on what her business and everybody been taking their hairs growing like crazy. So she said she's not going to order the BioSeal no more. She's going to order this one. Suitable for vegans. That is the one I really need to order myself. Yeah, they do. I got a lot of this stuff, I got some of this stuff right here now. I just got this. This is like skin and tissue support right here. Yeah, all the time, Carlos. So this, I'm going to order some too. Definitely is the way to go. I should have been ordered it. It's 120 tablets. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? Definitely is a must. This stuff is talking crazy. But definitely when you go to the doctor, do not tell the doctor that you are plant based. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to get a good diagnosis if you tell them that you're plant-based, you want them to do the work. And as a plant-based vegan, you want to always do your own research on your health. Okay? You do the research and then you see what you can do to better your health. One advantage that the younger generation got is YouTube and Google, especially YouTube. YouTube is a godsend when it comes to information because the great thing about YouTube is you can watch a whole lot of videos about a circumstance to see what everybody is saying, to see how many people say the same thing, to see real testimonials, to see real doctors and nurses. And so YouTube is like one of the greatest tools you got to see people and hear their testimonies on what they do, no matter what kind of problem you have. I mean, it's really great. Yeah, you got the toothpicks. Those help a lot. We was using those during COVID. The tea tree. They have the tea tree toothpicks, right? The tea tree toothpicks are really good. The tea tree toothpicks are really good. Uh, to try to constantly have a way for you to fight. Uh, anything. You know what I'm saying? I buy those anytime I see them. If I'm in the store and I remember and I see them, I buy them. I buy the tea tree. The tea tree toothpicks are really good. You know, for your gums, for your hygiene, and to fight. To fight things that could affect you. You know, in your mouth to keep your mouth as clean as possible. You know what I'm saying? So the tea tree toothpicks are great. My friend Uncle Mike told me about them, and it's something that we was doing a lot. They got the cinnamon, right, flavored ones, and then they got the mint flavored ones. I had the mint flavored ones. Those are good. Those are good. It's all anything, any type of mint and stuff is good. So I had this one right here. This was the one I had. This is the one, the tea tree toothpick. It's birch wood infused with tea tree oil and other natural extracts. Definitely worth the money. You can taste it when you deal with it. You can taste the tea tree, and tea tree oil is really good for you anyway. You know what I'm saying? You kind of gotta really do your research to take care of your health yourself. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to talk about this when you go to the doctor. When I was in the hospital, when I got stabbed and I was in the hospital, and I tell this story all the time, I can't tell it enough. And it came to a point where uh, a nurse and a dietitian came to my bedside and they had some chicken soup. And this was 1979, 1980. And I had been a, I had, no, this was 1989, 1989, 1990. So I had been a vegan 10 years, you know. I had been a vegan since 78. And now it's a little bit after 88. So the nurse came with the nurse came, or I think the dietitian came. They were both nurses. Anyway, I end up with both of them by my bed because I would not eat the chicken soup. I'm cut all open. I just had major surgeries. Now they trying to feed me something foreign while my body is weak. Hell, my body's been plant-based all from Chicago, all California, all the way to Hawaii. I'm eating all this coconut water and all this stuff. My body's clean. And they wanted to insist that I eat this chicken soup. And I kept telling the lady, I'm not going to eat that. She said, but you got to eat this to get healthy, to get well. I said, lady, I'm not going to eat that. She said, you really need to eat this chicken soup. Back and forth till finally I got a little belligerent and they left me alone. That same day, a couple of hours later, they come up, they get my bed and they roll me down because now they want to look at my inside. This was already planned, so it had nothing to do with the dietitian. So they roll me down to get an ultrasound. They roll me in this office. It's a lady from India. She starts doing the ultrasound. She get to my stomach area. She says, sir, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. She said, you're a vegetarian, aren't you? I said, yeah, how you know? She said, oh, you're so clean in there. This is what the dietitian. I just show you how God worked in mysterious ways. The other lady tried to get me to eat the chicken. They rolled me down to a woman from India. She do the ultrasound. It's like 2 hours later. She said, you're so clean in there. She said, this is why your surgery went so good and so well, sir. She said, because people that eat a lot of meat and cheese, they don't get to go to surgery as quick as you because we have to clean them out, right? She said, we have to clean them out. So they don't get to go to surgery like you do, right? So she said, but because you are eating right, because of the way you eat, you were so clean that they were able to send you to surgery right away. Right away, they were able to put you in surgery. And that's why your surgery went so smooth, she said, because a lot of times we have to do a colonic or enemas and clean all of that dead flesh and cheese and gook out before we could do the surgery. So that was a sign showing me that I was on the right page by changing the way I eat. But over the years, I've learned never ever tell the doctors you are a vegan or plant-based. Don't talk too much at the doctors. Make them do their job. Don't give them an easy reason to say, oh, it's this. Because a lot of times your diagnosis could be a few different things, could be the reason you're having a certain problem. And if you lead them too much, you could get misdiagnosed because you led them this way Come to find out, it's something over here. So it's like faith. When you're not feeling well, you go to the doctor, to them to look at you, try to get them to do the job. You try not to help them unless it's certain situations where they're going to ask you, you're going to have to be honest. So they're going to ask you, did you eat this? And if they ask you, did you eat something? And you did, tell them, yeah, because they might need to give you a treatment for that. They might know a certain thing you eat could make this happen to you. It could even be fatal. So tell them, yeah, if they ask you what you eat. Now, let's say if they ask you, sir, what did you eat today? And I'm a vegan. I can still tell them what I ate, but I'm not going to say I'm a vegan. They're not going to know you're a vegan just because you ate some broccoli and stuff like that. That don't mean you're a vegan. Everybody eat a lot of people eat broccoli. A lot of people. So you can tell them what you ate. If you ate plant-based meat, tell them some meat. I ate a burger. You don't have to tell them a beef burger or a vegan burger. You can tell them a burger, right? Because you want them to diagnose you, but do not tell them you are a vegan, because now they're going to start thinking like that, and then they're going to start diagnosing you based on that. And if they're a lot of meat eaters are prejudiced, a lot of meat eaters don't know much, so they automatically think if you're a vegan, you're going to get sick. So if you're not feeling well and you tell them you're a vegan, they're going to say, because my friend did that. She went, I was so pissed. She told them I'm a vegan, and they didn't even want to really look at her no more. They just said, yeah. Come to find out it wasn't that. She had Crohn's disease. She had Crohn's, right? And she had Crohn's because probably by the time she started changing the way she eat, she probably already had damaged her insides. And I kept telling her, why did you tell him that? Soon as she told him that, he didn't do no more work. He said, oh, that's what it is. You need to eat, basically you need to eat some meat. Just like that. He didn't do his job. She helped him not do his job. Let them do their job. And when you're plant-based, when you're plant-based, you're a little more intelligent when it comes to food than the average person. Or you might be doing something that you got your intelligence from somebody else, then the average person don't understand. And so now you're taking them in a field they're not no expertise on. And because you're doing something different than the norm, they're going to kind of say, well, that's probably it. How long you been eating like that? The whole conversation is going to go left, because now they're not a doctor no more. They're looking at you personal from their own personal belief system. Well, you got to let a doctor stay professional and find out what's wrong with you. You can't feed them information that's going to lead them in any direction. So never tell them you're a vegan. Never tell them you eat plant-based. Never tell them I don't drink milk no more. I don't eat cheese no more. Or I don't do that. Because they still got to do their job. That's going to make them do their job. And then if they come back and say you calcium deficient, now you know that you're not really getting enough calcium the way you're supposed to with your plant-based way of eating. Now you can go and Google, you know what I'm saying? What can vegans eat to get more calcium? And search it. Bam. And then you go fix yourself. Bam. Vegans can obtain sufficient calcium through a variety of plant-based sources, including fortified foods and naturally calcium-enriched options. These include calcium-fortified plant milks like soy, almond, and oat milk, tofu, tempeh, leafy greens like kale and broccoli, and seeds like chia and sesame seeds. Additionally, beans, lentils, and some dried fruit, such as figs and dates, can contribute to calcium intake. Bob, done. You don't need his help. All you need is the diagnosis. It is 2025. Once you get the diagnosis, now you can do everything yourself. It's 2025. Now, mostly what you need is the diagnosis. Now, you want to give them the right information to get the diagnosis. But you don't want to say you're a vegan. So if I go to the doctor and they say, well, man, it seems like something you ate. What did you eat? I'll be like, I had some cabbage. I had some black beans. I'll tell them that. But I'll never say vegan. I won't say that. So if I say, and I had a burger, they'll say, was it beef? I'll be, or they'll say, did you have any meat? I'll say, yeah. They'll say, well, what kind of meat did you have? I say, I had a burger. I'm not going to tell them plant-based burger because that's not necessary for them to know all that. A burger is a burger. Tell me what you think is wrong with me based on that. Based on the information I gave you, tell me what's wrong. I'm not going to feed you information that causes you to lean a certain way to come up with what you think is the problem. You're not going to get a good diagnosis doing that. You're not going to get a good diagnosis because you gave them some information that might prejudice their decisions. Okay? You see, if you give them the wrong information, it's going to prejudice their decision. You're not necessarily going to get a good decision because they're people too. And they might think veganism is ridiculous. They might go by what they medical train and say, you need to eat meat. So that's what he's going to say. He's going to say, that's probably it. There's probably something in you. He's going to start saying probably this, probably that. Because you shouldn't have told him that. You know, my friend, she went and told him that. And I was like, you shouldn't have told him that. You shouldn't have told him that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as soon as she told him she was a vegan, he stopped taking care of her immediately. That was it. Diagnosis was over. It was tripped out. I said, you shouldn't have told him that. He ain't give you no good diagnosis. Because you shouldn't have told him that ain't nothing in his business. Make him do his job. You know what I'm saying? He was ready to get you out of there. As soon as you said that, he was ready to get you out of there. And this man, that's why you sick. End of story. You know what I'm saying? End of story. That's why you sick. You understand? So anytime something can happen to you, and if you're not feeling well, you should go to the doctor and get a diagnosis, not treatment, unless it's something that you can't treat. If they tell you got H. pylori, you got to take the medicine. But let them do the test to see if you got H. pylori. If they say you got H. pylori, then take the medicine. So people will say, well, Pharaoh, if you take the medicine, what if the medicine get rid of the H. pylori, but then the medicine ain't good for your body? You take the H. pylori medicine, you get rid of the H. pylori, then you go use plant-based stuff to get rid of the medicine. Case closed. You get rid of the H. pylori. You take the medicine to get rid of the H. pylori. Then you go take the plant-based stuff to clean out your body from the H. pylori so it can't do no damage. So you might drink cranberry juice after they test you and say the H. pylori is gone. Now you're doing lemons, limes, cranberry juice and stuff to clean out that medicine. So let the medicine clean out the H. pylori. Let the plant-based stuff clean out the medicine. You'll be fine. The medicine is not going to be powerful enough to do nothing to you over fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are protective and extremely powerful. So you use one thing to clean out that, then you use something else to clean that out. And you're back like new. It's real simple. Anytime you got to take some medication and you have to take it for so long, go ahead and take it. And then when it's over, then purge. Fast it out for 2 or 3 days. Go right to Google. How do I get so-and-so medicine out my system? What can I eat to clean medicine out my system? Bam. Let's look it up. Watch. Y'all lucky. See? It's a dark green leafy vegetables, bright fruits and veggies, and exercise. You know what I'm saying? Bop, bop. It's basically like same thing as getting drugs out your system. Basically, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that boost liver detox enzymes. Wow. Done. Done. Just that simple. Just that simple. Done. Look, you got to take medicine for so long. When you get done, boom. Berries and citrus, leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables. Bam. Detox. Go run everything right out. Look, soluble fibers, oats, quinoa, apples, pears, beans, lentils, chia, and flax seeds. Insoluble, whole grain products, nuts and seeds, raw vegetables, brown rice, liver support, milk thistle, vitamin B complex, omega fatty acids. Everything is right on social media these days, right on the internet. And you can go to the internet and get all the information that doctors get in school. See what I'm saying? So if you got to take a medicine and you're afraid, like, what is this medicine going to do to my body? They say you got to take this for 2 weeks. Take it for the 2 weeks to get rid of, to help whatever they said, and then go heavy organic vegetables, fruits. One day just do fruits all day. then eat your cruciferous vegetables and broccoli and stuff, going to clean you right out. They said broccoli even help clean you out when you smoke cigarettes. They said it even make the cigarettes, toxins from the cigarettes go away some to the point where they ain't even as dangerous. I just watched that this morning with Dr. Michael Flager was talking about that. At the end of the day, the Bible say, and the leaves of the tree shall be for the healing of the nations. And so these plants are medicine for sure. There's no creator would make a planet without what you need on there to get well. This is just common sense. A lot of these flowers, even in some of this stuff you call weeds, is really medicine. And so go to the doctor, be honest, just don't tell them you're a vegan. Tell them everything else but that. Don't tell them you don't eat meat, you don't, that's unnecessary information. Wait, tell them the truth about certain things. Have you been consuming a bunch of salt? Have you been putting a lot of sea salt on your food? Say yes. He's going to say, okay, that's why it is cut back. You can tell them the truth, but do not tell them you are a plant-based vegan. Do not tell them you eat just whole foods, because that's going to adjust the way they think about you. And you're not going to get a good diagnosis, because now you're going to prejudice your diagnosis. Just like you could prejudice a courtroom. You could prejudice a police officer, could be prejudiced. You can create a prejudice. So even if they're a doctor, when you say vegan, they might not like that. They might be like, they might really believe veganism is no good and veganism will make you sick. So here you are in the hospital or the doctor, you sick, you tell them you're a vegan. They're like, uh-huh. That's because you don't eat no meat. You need to eat meat. See what I'm saying? Because it's still a human being and they might believe that you got to eat meat. Some people believe that. Isn't what illegal? No, nothing is illegal if you don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's not illegal. They're not going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? They doctors, so they're going to make a diagnosis. It's not illegal for them to tell you, you probably need some meat. If that's what they believe and they haven't been taught otherwise, that's what they teach. That's what they teach. So no, it's not illegal. No, it's not illegal. Not at all. Not at all. They would be telling you what the United States teach them in school. That's absolute fact. That's what they teach them. So ain't no court gonna say they did nothing wrong. Because when you go to court, everybody in the court believes the same thing. Everybody know. Everybody know you're supposed to eat like that. They're gonna look at you like, why you don't know how you're supposed to eat? Because that's how you're supposed to eat in America. That's how you're supposed to eat in America, according to what they know, according to their knowledge, according to what they actually teach. That's what you're supposed to eat, because that's what they actually teach. That's what they teach. They teach that. Okay? That's why you can't tell them you're a vegan. They teach that you're supposed to eat meat. That is what they teach to be healthy. That's a fact. So anybody believes that, here is the food chart. Milk and yogurt. This is the food pyramid. Look at the top. At the top, they got milk, yogurt, and cheese. Then they got meat, fish, dry beans, eggs, and nuts at the top. 2 or 3 servings. They got vegetables in the middle. And then at the bottom, they got bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. But at the top of the pyramid, you see what it is? The only thing up there that's vegan is nuts and beans. They say you're supposed to eat milk, yogurt, cheese, meat, chicken and fish, poultry and fish, and eggs. That's what they told the doctor. So when you go in there and you tell the doctor you don't eat like this, what you think he gonna say? Oh no, that's the point. That's the problem because you're not eating the way it's recommended. Because this is the recommendations. This is facts. This is how you're supposed to eat. And the main thing you're supposed to eat is at the top of the pyramid. These is all facts. Y'all better listen to me. Don't tell them you a vegan. Because if you're sick and you're not feeling good and you tell them you're a vegan, they're going to say, that's why you don't feel good. As a matter of fact, when a vegan gets sick, they be kind of happy. See? Kind of. They kind of use it to prove their point. The vegan doctor just passed away last week, and man, the meat eaters was going crazy. Talking about the meat, but the whole thing is the man might have been sick before he went vegan. They don't even know why the man went vegan. The man could have easily went vegan because he had some health issue, and he went vegan and he tried to fight it as long as he could, and probably couldn't overcome it. But they just jump to conclusions because you could be messed up. You could be had a bad surgery. You could have been in bad car accidents or got messed up before you even went plant-based. Or it could happen to you when you plant-based that could deteriorate your body. Your body could get deteriorated in a lot of ways other than the food. So don't go into the Babylon system telling them you don't eat the Babylon way. Don't tell them that. If you want to get good treatment, don't tell them you're vegan. Don't tell them you plant-based. All right, sweetheart. I'll see you next time. Get some rest. See? Look at the pyramid. They got 10% fat, oil, sugar, sweets. Next, look what they got. Meat, fish, milk, eggs. So they eat 15% that. They say 20% fruits, 25% vegetables, 30% bread, cereals, and pasta. This is how you're supposed to eat. Which, come on, man, how you gonna eat like that? That's all over the place. They saying the basis of the food is bread and cereals and pasta is the main thing. Then your vegetables, then your fruits, then your meat and stuff, then your oils and fat 10%. And if you notice, each pyramid is different. The other pyramid didn't say none of this. It ain't even the same pyramid. When you look at the pyramids, that's not what the last pyramid. See what I'm saying? They just making it up as they go. You got to understand, if you're a vegan, you're a plant-based vegan, it's 2025. You still about 5 to 10 years ahead of the system. When I became a vegan in 1978, I was 50 years ahead of the system. It was going to take them 50 years to catch up. And it might take them 60, because 50 years going to be in another 3 years, but they probably going to catch up in another 3 years. In another 3 years, they probably are going to be there, because, they're going to be getting sicker and sicker. They're going to have to do something, because the sickness is going to be too much. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be getting sicker and sicker. There ain't no doubt about that. That's why Robert F. Kennedy coming. They trying to get rid of artificial flavors and colors and all that stuff right now, because the cancer is through the roof. Cancer, stroke, heart attack, diabetes, through the roof. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, through the roof. Stroke, heart, through the roof. It's so high, they had to separate the cancers. They got to say it's this cancer, this cancer, this cancer. Because if they put all the cancers together and just say, well, how many people pass away just from cancer? Well, let's see. Okay. They say 613,349 Americans passed away from cancer in 2023. So they do but that's AI. AI is smart. Unfortunately, AI will tell you the truth based on if they tell an AI the truth. But it says, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, an estimated 613,349 Americans died from cancer in 2023. This represents the second leading cause of death in the United States. Then they break them down. Lung cancer is like the main one. Then prostate cancer, then breast cancer. According to that. Yeah, 600,000. Almost a million. You put the diabetes with it. You put the stroke and the heart attack with it. Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. The key is, it's not the people that's passed away, it's the people that's sick. It's millions of those. Because people be sick a long time. People be going to dialysis 6 years, 7 years, 8 years before they finally get a transplant, all of that, or pass away. So the amount of people hanging on, the amount of people on blood pressure medicine and all that, that number is crazy. So look, I just wanted to drop that on y'all. When you go to the doctor, please don't tell them you're a vegan or plant-based. Be quiet. Tell them everything else they ask so you can get a good diagnosis, because it might be some you ate or whatever. And then go home and do your own research to figure out, how do you fix what they said is wrong. Because it's still going to come down to that. They might try to sell you some pharmaceuticals and stuff, but it's still going to come down to you going home and changing your bad habits. If you're an alcoholic, they might give you some medicine and stuff for whatever the alcohol did, but you going to have to stop drinking because whatever medicine they try to give you to help your cirrhosis or whatever, if you keep drinking, the medicine ain't going to do no good. So at the end of the day and the beginning of the day, get a good diagnosis. Don't tell them you vegan or plant-based, and then go and do better to fix your situation. You might be vegan, but you might not be eating enough food. So you ain't got to go back to eating meat. You got to expand what you're not eating. You're going to have to eat a wider variety of food. Because even if you go back to meat, you still might not get that thing. You still might got to eat that same vegetable. Because when you eat meat, you still got to eat your vegetables. Yeah, if you're not on medicine, you 40, you winning. They on medicine in their 30s. They passing away in their 30s and 40s, sometime in their 20s. They passing away early. They got colon cancer in their 20s now. Real talk. People are really sick. That's why so many people going plant-based. Okay, foundational Black Americans are the number one growing vegans in the country. Did y'all know that? Black Americans are going vegan. Anybody don't know is slow. These is facts. Black Americans are going vegan. Yes, Black Americans are increasingly adopting vegan and plant-based diets at a higher rate than any other demographic in the United States. These are facts, man. Facts. Because we sick. We sick. These are facts. We are changing the way we eat. So look, everybody, thanks for joining. Get more people to come over, right? Support the channel any kind of way you can. Your support is very much appreciated. You can Cash App at RealVeganIntel, or you can PayPal at VeganIntel. It's much appreciated. And get people over here. Get your relatives over here. Get your subscribers and followers on all your social media over here so we can have more discussions about health, exercising, and all this, so we can try to save ourselves. These is very serious conversations. This is a new channel. It's doing extremely well early. And also, if you're a content creator, come over and watch so you can see how I build a channel without trolling, without putting nobody else's name, with hard work. When you look up in 24 months, this channel will be popping. You got to put the work in. You got to put the consistency in. You got to put your heart into it. You got to bring information. And if you got anybody that's sick or whatever, they not feeling well, their health ain't no good, make sure they subscribe over here and tell them just watch. and get whatever motivation they can get, even if they don't want to be plant-based. We talking about exercising and all that. Okay? We trying to save our people. And our people is all people. We trying to save everybody, okay? We trying to save anybody ain't taking care of themselves. We don't care what nationality. We don't care what religion. This is not what we do over here. Over here is health. This is not, we're not into social politics over here between different races and all that. This is a health channel. Okay, everything in its right perspective. So over here, we trying to help everybody eat better. If everybody ate better, racism would disappear. Hate would disappear. Wars would disappear. If you got people off that meat, they wouldn't be fighting no more. They wouldn't be doing all that. They'll be peaceful. They won't have that energy. They won't have, people would not have that energy if they stop eating death. If they start having compassion for the animals and stop slaughtering the animals and stop putting that bad vibe into their body like that. You putting that bad vibe that them cows and pigs and chickens feel when they get unalive, and then you taking in that negative spirit, and the negative spirit haunts your soul. Okay? So eat right. Like I said, support the channel. It's much appreciated. And exercise and work out. Also, go follow the Patreon. Join the Patreon, because the Patreon is going to have stuff I can't put over here. So it's a little more hardcore. So join the Patreon. It's cheap. It's like $5 a month. You can't lose. Support the Patreon. Exercise, work out, take care of yourself. Try to save your family. Set a good example. All right? All right. Victory and vegan.